Apple is once again pushing smartphone design forward with the iPhone 18 Pro Max, and this time all the attention is on the front of the device. The biggest highlight is that under-display Face ID is no longer just a rumor. It has officially started becoming a reality, at least in part, and it marks a major step toward Apple's long-term vision of a completely seamless display. Alongside this, the dynamic island has become smaller, smarter, and far less distracting, creating a cleaner and more immersive screen experience overall. The iPhone 18 Pro Max perfectly reflects Apple's careful but confident approach to innovation, where changes are introduced gradually to protect performance, security, and reliability, values that have always been at the core of Apple's design philosophy. One of the most noticeable upgrades is the reduced size of the dynamic island. Apple has shrunk its width by around 35%, bringing it down from roughly 20.7 mm to about 13.5 mm. This might sound like a small change on paper, but visually it makes a big difference. The display feels more open, more modern, and less crowded. Even though it is smaller, the dynamic island remains just as useful, still handling notifications, navigation, music controls, and background activities in a smooth and interactive way. The key difference is that it now blends into the display instead of constantly demanding attention, which makes watching videos, scrolling through social media, and gaming feel far more immersive. This refined dynamic island also shows that Apple is listening closely to user feedback. People liked the functionality, but many felt it was too intrusive. By keeping its features while reducing its visual footprint, Apple has struck a balance between function and design. Rather than a dramatic redesign, this is a smart refinement that improves everyday comfort without changing how users interact with their phone. The most exciting advancement, however, is the introduction of under-display Face ID technology. For the first time, Apple has moved one of Face ID's key components, the flood illuminator, beneath the display. This allows the front of the phone to look cleaner and more futuristic, with fewer visible elements interrupting the screen. The flood illuminator is crucial for Face ID because it projects infrared light onto the user's face, even in low-light conditions. Successfully placing this component under the display is a major technical achievement and shows that Apple is making real progress toward hiding complex sensors without sacrificing performance. That said, Face ID is not yet fully hidden. The infrared camera still remains visible, and this is a deliberate choice. Apple has clearly prioritized accuracy and security over aesthetics, ensuring that Face ID continues to work reliably in all conditions. This partial under-display solution represents a careful compromise, allowing Apple to move forward with new technology while maintaining the high standards users expect. Together, these changes significantly improve the use of screen space. With a smaller dynamic island and fewer visible sensors, the display on the iPhone 18 Pro Max feels larger and more immersive, even if the actual screen size has not changed dramatically. Everyday activities like watching movies, gaming, reading articles, or multitasking between apps feel more enjoyable and less cluttered. Apple's focus on maximizing usable display space fits perfectly with how smartphones are used today, as tools for entertainment, productivity, and communication. The iPhone 18 Pro Max also offers a clear glimpse into Apple's long-term vision of a truly seamless display. A future iPhone with no cutouts, no notches, and no visible sensors has been discussed for years, and this device moves Apple closer to that goal. Shrinking the dynamic island and hiding parts of Face ID under the screen are important steps along that path. However, achieving a completely uninterrupted display is extremely challenging, as sensors must function perfectly through multiple display layers without affecting brightness, color accuracy, or manufacturing consistency. Because of these challenges, experts believe a fully seamless iPhone may not arrive until at least 2027. Until then, the iPhone 18 Pro Max serves as an important transition device. It demonstrates progress, introduces new technologies, and prepares users for what is coming next. Rather than making sudden, risky changes, Apple continues to refine and iterate, improving small details with each generation. While some may call these updates incremental, they are meaningful. A smaller dynamic island improves visual comfort, partial under-display Face ID makes the phone feel more futuristic, and better screen usage enhances daily life. Looking ahead, the iPhone 18 Pro Max lays a strong foundation for future iPhones. It proves that under-display Face ID is both possible and practical, shows Apple's commitment to reducing visual clutter, and confirms that innovation at Apple is still very much alive. With its refined design and advanced technology, The iPhone 18 Pro Max stands as a clear example of thoughtful, carefully executed innovation, shaping the future of smartphones one deliberate step at a time.